Welcome back to The Ambassadors. I'm thrilled to dive into today's topic with you. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're tackling a huge topic, the deep connection between the cross and what it means to forgive. We're going to use a devotional from Ambassadors Daily Banquets as our guide to unpack why this link is so powerful and why it still matters so much to us today. We have to start here, with these incredible words spoken from the cross. According to the source, this one sentence, it's not just a request, it's the bedrock, the absolute foundation for understanding everything else about forgiveness in this context. It really sets the whole stage. So, how does an event from so long ago define forgiveness for us now? Well, the source makes it clear that this is way more than just a historical moment. It's framed as the ultimate, most powerful demonstration of what forgiveness is all about, showing pure mercy, even in the middle of unbelievable pain.
And that demonstration? It has a really direct challenge for anyone on a spiritual path. The source suggests this act sets a new, incredibly high standard. Having that same willingness to forgive isn't just a nice thought. It's presented as a core part of the journey.
Okay, so this all leads to a really important question, right? What does this kind of forgiveness actually look like when you have to live it out? It's one thing to talk about it, but let's break down what the source material says it truly means. The definition we're working with here is crystal clear. Forgiveness is a choice. It's an active decision to let go of all that heavy stuff, the bitterness, the resentment. And here's the key part. The source points out that this is often costly. It really acknowledges how hard this can be.
So you might be thinking, if it's so costly, why do it? The source is really direct about the payoff, freedom. And you can really see what that freedom means when you look at the two options side by side, holding on versus letting go.
This comparison is just so stark, isn't it? On one side, you have what the source calls the prison of unforgiveness. It's a place built from hatred and bitterness, but on the other side, you have the freedom of forgiveness, which leads to things like peace and unity. It's laid out as a very clear choice between two totally different ways to live.
So let's dive a little deeper into these benefits. First up is healing. The source really emphasizes that forgiveness is what starts to mend those broken parts of our relationships.
And beyond that, it restores a sense of personal peace, that inner calm that just gets eaten away when you're holding a grudge.
And for anyone in a leadership role, this is huge. Forgiveness is what builds trust and creates real unity within a team or a community.
Now, to make sure this doesn't just stay a nice idea, the source gives us an amazing story that shows this principle in action under, the most extreme circumstances you can imagine.
We're talking about the story of Joseph. You may have heard it before, but let's really look at it again, specifically through this lens of forgiveness. Just think about this for a second. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers. They sold him into slavery. And then, years later, when he has all the power and their lives are in his hands, what does he do? He makes the incredible choice to forgive them. And that choice didn't just stop a cycle of revenge, it literally saved his whole family, and, as the source points out, showed that there was a much bigger plan at work all along.
And that powerful story isn't just a history lesson. It's meant to bring this whole idea out of the ancient texts and right into our lives today. The source doesn't just want us to admire Joseph's choice, it challenges us to apply it ourselves. Which brings us to this very direct, very personal question. This is an invitation to pause and look inward for a second, to honestly ask ourselves if we're holding on to something that's keeping us locked in that prison of unforgiveness we saw earlier.
Now, if you thought of someone, the source doesn't just leave you there. It offers a practical 3-step guide. It starts with being honest with yourself, then moves to that conscious choice to let it go, and it ends by suggesting you seek help from God to finish the process, which is a great reminder that sometimes this is just too hard to do on our own. And that really brings us to the final, crucial takeaway. According to this message, forgiveness isn't just a nice idea or a good suggestion. It's presented as absolutely essential. It's a non-negotiable for spiritual health, for our relationships, and for our own personal growth. The message is simple. The road to real freedom.
Thank you for watching. Please share, like, and comment. Your host, God7, David F. Wafulu.